Okay, so we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, and this is verse 47. Now, I think it's a very, very important verse from now onwards because these verses have a tremendous amount of meaning for any scripture. It's a total summation of what Krishna is talking about to Arjuna, and he is giving us an understanding about how we have to live in this world and do our jobs. So let us begin. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 47. Better is one's own duty, though devoid of merit, than the duty of another well performed. For performing the duty ordained by his own nature, man does not incur sin. Now, what is Sri Krishna saying over here? That every human being has been given a specific duty, and his job is to do those things. Now, if he were to do another person's job, another person's duty, even if that duty that he is doing gets him a lot of fame, fortune, money, power, you name it, all kinds of things may come to him. If that happens, then even then, that duty will not fructify into the ultimate destination or a goal, because he is incurring a huge sin. So I have to give you all certain examples which will tell you what exactly it means. Now, first and foremost, let us say I have a certain instrument. Now that instrument is maybe a cell phone or maybe camera or something like that. And I am using it as a paperweight. Just imagine that. Or even a diamond, a small diamond. And I am using it for another purpose altogether. Is the diamond serving a purpose? It's a costly item, isn't it? Likewise, your camera, your cell phone, other things are very expensive. And if you are using it for absolutely worthless kind of a job, then it is sin, because that is a waste of money. So in the material world, you will understand that if I do not make the proper use of whatever item that I have, then it is worthless. Now let us say I have a very, very expensive car. Now my car is like a Rolls Royce, a Maybach or something like that, or a Ferrari. Now that Ferrari, that Maybach and that Rolls Royce, I am just keeping it in my garage. Every day it is nicely polished and kept. Think about it. What is the point in spending crores of rupees on a stuff which is going to be just lying in my garage? You decide whether it is worth it or no. You will understand that I am just wasting my resources. Now I put it up so that the world acknowledges me and says, wow, this person is so rich and he's so great. That is why we have to see that Rolls Royce of his. No, it's a car. end of the day, you are using the car for the purpose of driving around. And what is the point in keeping a car in a garage? Likewise, we have very, very expensive watches which a person may not even wear, just leave it over there. There are lots of things in this world which people buy, like jewelry or expensive clothes. Now there is a wedding and a person buys a very, very expensive sari, a very, very expensive suit, which he or she is using it only for that one occasion. A person has spent lakhs on the saris. Now, since I was in the fashion industry earlier, so I can tell you, if I have to buy a length of, cloth for making a suit from Italy and some such beautiful place, it's going to cost me a bomb. And I'm not even going to wear it after that. What is the point in buying this kind of a thing? So, I have given you multiple examples to understand that whatever are the specific uses of that item, you have to make use for that purpose only and not any other. So I gave you material worldly examples. Now think about the Divine Lord. Now Sri Krishna, the Divine Lord, has created you. You are his tool. And because you are his tool, you have been made for a particular purpose. But you don't want to do that. You want to do everything other than that. You are a farmer's son, but you want to be a politician. Or you want to be an information technology specialist or something like that. Why has God made you? Find out. You are not supposed to be doing that other thing. And here he says, if a man does something which is not pertaining to his own Swadharma, then he is doing a terrible thing. It's one of the biggest sins of all. Now think about, now that was one aspect about you. Spiritual stories are there. Now in the spiritual stories you will find that there are specific characters which we come across, like Sri Ram, Ravana, Sri Krishna, Arjun. All these are characters in the stories that are there, which we have been hearing from our childhood. Now if Ravana says tomorrow, I don't want to fight Sri Ram, I just want to, be lost in him, that is going to be a very big problem. How is Ramayana going to happen then? So the job of Ravana is very specific. He has been made for that purpose only. And when you serve the purpose, then you can attain the divine. When Ravana was killed by Shri Ram, his soul entered the being of Sri Ram himself. Why would that happen? Ask yourself, why should it happen? It is because he was serving the purpose. He was the greatest villain of Ramayana, isn't it? Now, if he was not there and if he said tomorrow, no, I don't want to do anything, I just want to be like Kumbhakarna, laze around and just go to sleep, he is not doing his job, his duty. So he has been set in this world for a particular purpose, and that purpose is extremely important. You are a hero, and your job is to fight as Sri Ram. You should go and fight. That is your duty, that's your job. That is why you will be called God Almighty. Similarly, in Mahabharata, Arjuna says, I don't want to fight. And that is why Krishna is telling him, sir, you have been made one of the greatest weapons. You are my disciple and my friend also. So my advice to you is to do your duty as a Yodha, as a fighter, as a soldier, as a person who is going to lead the Pandavas and fight against the Kauravas. It is your duty. And tomorrow if you say, I am not going to do my duty, then you're the biggest sinner on earth. In our world of spiritual, now I have been giving you multiple examples. I've also told you what Krishna would do and what any other person would do. Now let us look at the aspect of spiritual. Now in the world of spiritual, let us see how this verse works. Better to do one's own duty, though devoid of merit, than the duty of another well performed. For performing the duty ordained by my own nature, man does not incur sin. Did you get it? This is the essential part of this scripture. You have to do your own duty, even if it doesn't have any merit. Merit in the sense, it doesn't tell you that if you do your duty, you're going to get some benefit in this world. You are not going to get any benefit in this world. Let us say, your job is there, you are only serving a purpose. And when you are serving the purpose, you can't see positive in it. You can't see anything worthwhile in doing your job. You may say that, okay, I'm a dancer. Okay? So what are you doing just now? Oh, I am working for an IT company. Is it? You are a dancer, you are a singer, and you are working for a IT company? What is your duty? Your duty is to follow what your Swadharma is, the reason why your birth has happened. You will say, no, I will do it once I earn enough money. Let us come back to this line. Better to do one's own duty, though devoid of merit. There may be no merit, there may be no money attached to it, there may be no fame, fortune, nothing. Or than the duty of another well performed. So you are working for an IT company and making a lot of money and you are doing so well in that job. You are a singer, you are a dancer, you are some kind of an artist and you are joining some company and you are making so much money, you have become some vice president or president of the company or a CEO of the company. Who has told you? Even if you do this duty, whatever that you are doing, which you are not supposed to do by the way, for performing the duty ordained by my own nature, by his own nature, your nature will decide what you are supposed to do. See, how does your nature decide? Actually, yesterday's satsang I had given an understanding about this subject, but let me recap it to you. You have a nature. That nature is inherent, is right inside that body of yours. And that nature says that you understand music. You understand how to, move your legs and hands and dance. Okay? Your nature says so. And whenever some beautiful music plays, you just, you go, like that kind of a thing. You get completely lost in it. You can see your own nature? Very good. Now, this is about a dancer or a singer or those kind of a person. Now let us come to the other kind of a person. Let us say you have a nature which is very clinical. Your father, your mother, your forefathers were all doctors. What does it tell you about your Swadharma then? See, your Swadharma says that you have to be a doctor yourself. Now let us come to the reason why all the parents in the world who are doctors will say, I want my son and my daughter to be a doctor. And the son says, I don't give a damn. I want to be an actor. No, you are not supposed to be. Your body, it has its own nature. You have come from a tree where everybody is a doctor. A farmer's son is a farmer, correct? A doctor's son is a doctor. Have we not seen this for eons? Somebody who is in administrative service, you will find later in India we have the IAS and all that. You will find that somebody who is a commissioner or maybe some big shot somewhere, you will find that their children also do the same thing. They also become administrators. Why? It is in their blood. It is their Swadharma. It is there within their inherent nature. And that is why you got to do it. But you may not get anything out of it. You may not become as famous as your father or mother. You may not become anything. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let us take examples of kings and queens. This verse, I'm going to stretch it for some time, so please kindly bear it with me. Now there is a king or a queen. Now there is a queen of England. Now she has a son. King Prince Charles is there. Now Charles has got two sons. Now tomorrow, when the queen goes away, Charles may become the king of that country. Okay? Now, if tomorrow Charles dies, then what happens? His elder son, whoever it might be, is supposed to. But let us say one son becomes a TV anchor or he becomes a businessman in USA. One of his sons is already doing all kinds of things in America. What does his nature say? His nature says that he is supposed to be the son of the king. But he decides that I want to be a businessman, I want to do this and I want to do that. He is doing injustice. In that business, he may be making more money than the king of England. That is not correct. This is what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying that you have to do your Swadharma as your body, which is there. It has a nature of its own, and that nature has to be followed by you diligently. For many years, from 2001 till 2008 or 9, though my Guruji had told me that you are supposed to teach, I was not ready to do so. It was in 2009, 10, 11 that I started taking a little interest in teaching. And by the time it was 2011, when I met my Guruji, he gave me a peace of mind. He said, what is this you are doing? Your job is to teach. What are you bothered about? People will come to know who you are. So what is the big deal in that? Or somebody will not come to know who you are. You may be just an incognito figure doing all kinds of satsangs. Sometimes the satsangs are there, sometimes they are not there, but you're doing it. You're preaching, you're teaching the world. That is your duty. And it may not be having any merit. Like today I keep on telling people, I am looking for that one disciple who can handle everything, who is the perfection, absolute perfection. The search is still on. And I have to train. So I will train. I will see to it that whoever that person is going to be the right kind of a person. It is my duty. And so I started teaching 2011 onwards very seriously. Otherwise, till then I was thinking I'll just go away somewhere to the Himalayas and stay there. But no, I have to teach. And it really doesn't matter. It may earlier I would do 6 hours and 7 hours, 7 hours of satsang. Now I do 1 hour of satsang. Well, that's a difference. But constantly on the path of spiritual, I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. What merits are there in that? Tell me. I'm still searching. And it's my job to search. It is my job to train. It is my job to teach, which I have to do. Many a times I may feel totally exhausted and say, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do anything after this. I did that 2, 3 times in the middle. I said, I am not going to teach anybody. Finish. Enough of it. Because I can't find anybody. But then these words are important. Better to do one's own duty, though devoid of merit. There is no merit in doing the duty. I am not going to get some Padma Shri or Padma Vibhushan or some kind of a nonsensical degree, or I am not going to be called as the Param Guru and all the big names, designations. I don't care about it because that is not important. Though devoid of all merit, then the duty of another well performed. I may become a businessman because I have knowledge about business. And tomorrow, suppose if I say, I want to start business. And I start business. And there I may become a billionaire. I can become greater than even Elon Musk for that matter. I'm sorry, that is sin. See, that is what he says. Better than duty of another well performed. For performing the duty ordained by my own nature, my nature says that I have to do this thing only. And I can't be doing some other thing. I can't be going and joining some company or doing some job somewhere. No, my job is to teach. My job is to train people, and I have to do it in the path of spiritual. So spiritual knowledge is what I have to give. And that is what I will continue to give. But the end result, I don't know. Whether I will find someone, I don't know. See, I am training. Shri Rajshri is over here. I am training her as much as I can. I have to get the perfect person. And training is a must. Though you will find that whoever, other people, those who are there with me, whenever they come, whenever they meet me, I try to push them in their direction of their own Swadharma. One of my disciples, I have told her, you are a great dancer. Teach dancing. Teach music to people. She's a great yoga teacher. I have told her that is your path. What is the other thing that you are running after? If you do this other thing, which is not ordained for you, even the other thing, if you are getting pots of money and becoming very famous, you will be incurring one of the greatest sins. And that sin you should not do. See, for being trained in a particular thing, you have to, like they say in Hindi, usme kida banna padta hai. You have to become a worm in that. That is what they say in Hindi. You have to go to the bottom of everything, study everything very, very nicely. Become perfect in your Swadharma. There is a beautiful movie which you might have seen, How to Train the Dragon. It's a children's film. There is a black dragon. The dragon's job is to throw, fire. And this young boy teaches this dragon how to fight. That is the Swadharma. You can't say I am a dragon who is going to be sitting in one jungle or maybe in a zoo. No, that's not your job. Your job is to, throw fire and brimstone. God knows what all things you are supposed to do. So, as a fire eating dragon or whatever, that is your job. If you are a soldier, it's your job to fight and no other thing. So, I hope you understood this verse. I have taken nearly half an hour to explain to you. This is a lesson for you, not for some Arjuna somewhere. You are the Arjuna who is getting the lesson. So please be very, very serious in what I am telling you. Don't do anything which is going to go against your own inherent nature. Your Swadharma is extremely critical and important. Follow that Swadharma and become literally an expert in that. So if you are a farmer, do farming. Do natural farming. You understand? Do farming which is important in this world. Permaculture and all those kind of things. Do that. If your father is a scientist, you become a scientist. If your parents were doctors and all those people, you do that. Do you get it? If your parents were in some kind of an industry, be that person from that industry. That is what it means. Alright, so now we will move to the next verse. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 48. Therefore Arjuna, one should not relinquish one's innate duty, even though if there is a measure of evil, for all undertakings are beset by some imperfection or the other, as is fire covered by smoke. I gave you all a fantastic example of Ravana. Alright? Ravana's job was to be the greatest villain of Ramayana. That was his job. And he performed it to the T. Now you may say it's a bad job, it's an evil job. That is what Krishna is talking about. Even you cannot relinquish your innate duty. Even if there is a measure of evil in it. You will find that the Kauravas were the evil characters in Mahabharata, isn't it? Now let us say tomorrow Kauravas become nice goody people. And they say, okay, we will give you half the property, then you can go. No, that is not expected of them. Because their nature says that they have to be the greatest villains. So they have to fight the Pandavas. That is their job. That is destined for them. Likewise, you may have certain nature. Your nature defines who you are. That is, he says, innate duty. Innate means that which comes from within you, inside of you. So, doing your Swadharma is so important. There might be a lot of evil in it. What is the evil that we are talking about? Let us look at some of the duties that are there. Let us say you are a butcher. You know there are butchers. Now the butcher's job is to cut the animals and sell the meat, right? That is their job. Now let us say the butcher says, I will not do the job because I am a God-fearing person. After this, I will not do this job and then I will go and become some great person, I will become a vegetarian and stuff like that. He is not doing his duty. I have given some examples in the past. Now let me give you one example. Let us say there are the sweepers who come and those who come to take the trash from your house. You are told to segregate the wet waste and the dry waste and all that. I'm sure you are doing it in your own house. Now let us say that those people say, from today, I am not going to do this job. I am going to become a person who is going to take part in, maybe I will sell vada pav, or maybe I'll sell street food, but I will not do this job of picking up other people's trash, because I have learned that there is a lot of money in selling street food, vada pavs and all that. What happens to the trash that was supposed to be picked up? Just one example I'm giving you. Think about it. If tomorrow all the people decide, those who collect the trash, they decide from tomorrow onwards we are not going to pick up the trash. Why? Because we have now become all business people. How much trash will start gathering everywhere? A lot of trash will gather everywhere. And because a lot of trash will gather everywhere, what is going to happen? The whole world will start stinking. There will be disease, pandemics following everywhere. Different kinds of problems will come up. Correct? That is why that job is critical. That job is important. You may say that that job is very dirty. There are those who clean the sewers also, they go down inside in most of our big cities and all. You might have seen, isn't it? They clean the sewers. If those fellows say, "Hum nahi karega kam, I am not going to do this job," isn't that a sin? That is the sin. Understand this. Likewise, if your father is a goldsmith and your family has been doing the business of a goldsmith, it is your duty to do the job of a goldsmith only. Some 3 months ago, I received a call from a very young boy. This young boy said that his father, during the pandemic, when the pandemic started last year, he owed a lot of money and everybody is hounding him, so he disappeared. The shop closed down, though they were doing quite well. The shop closed down, and the business peoples, they came to their houses and they that started demanding money and stuff like that. He asked me, "Guruji, what am I supposed to do?" I said, "What are you studying just now?" Because you're 21 years old. So he said, "I am doing my final year in my, some commerce or something like that. I don't know, or engineering or God knows what." I told him, "Have you been seeing your business from the beginning of your life?" He said, "Yes, from my childhood, I used to sit in the counter over there. I would be with the goldsmiths." I said, "That is your duty. Go and do that job. Today, the business is in doldrums. Don't worry. Do it. Become that person. Become that goldsmith. And market yourself. Your shop should become very famous. Do nicely. Maybe in the couple of years now, you may go through a lot of problems because you owe your parents and your business owes money to people. Yes, doesn't matter. There is a certain amount of evil in that job also. But why bother so much? It is your innate nature and that is your Swadharma. Do it. He said, "Thank you very much, Guruji, for this is what I wanted to hear. I want to do this business and I will do it." And he started. So, do you get what I am saying? Don't try to do something else, because that something else is called sin. If you become famous in some other job of yours, sir, you are becoming a biggest sinner on earth. Today you may become famous, today you can get lot of money, everything will come to you. You will become really very good at what you are doing. But your job was that. The other thing which you left behind and said, "I will not do this because see, my father is poor, my mother is poor, they are farmers. Farmers know, nobody gives a damn to them." No. If you are in the business of milk, cattle and all that, your job is to do that only. You see, go to Italy and all those places. You will find that there are big pastures, there are big places where they are making, cheese and stuff like that. For donkeys' years, they are doing the same thing. Some person is making pizza for so many years. Some people are in hotel business. They feed the public. And if their son decides, no, tomorrow I'm going to become an actor in Hollywood, then you are in the wrong business, sir. If your business is running restaurants and cafes and whatnot, what are you doing becoming a Hollywood star? Don't. Therefore, Arjuna, one should not relinquish one's innate duty. Never relinquish your duty. Even if there is a measure of evil, for all undertakings are beset by some imperfection or the other. Every job, whether you are a doctor or whatever, you may be a pilot also, you may be, a soldier also. Everywhere there is a measure of evil there. As a soldier, are you not supposed to kill other person? The enemies? There is. Correct? Likewise, in your own industry, you may be having to do certain things. You see, suppose you are a goldsmith. The gold which comes, you don't even know where it comes from. So you have to do your job, whether it is coming from some godforsaken country or not. Who knows? But the job is important, even if there is some imperfections or the other. As is fire covered by smoke. So you should know the fire is always covered by smoke only, isn't it? Like that, all jobs have some imperfection or the other. There is going to be some issue somewhere, but doesn't matter. You may not be successful in your job, but you will be successful in Sri Krishna's eyes. Get it? So we go to the next verse. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 49. He whose intellect is not attached to anyone or anything, whose thirst for enjoyment has altogether disappeared, and who has subdued his mind, reaches through Sankhya Yoga the path of knowledge, the consummation of actionlessness. Again, this is a very important verse. For those who are on the path of spiritual, for them this verse has a lot of value. He whose intellect is not attached to anyone or anything. All those people who are on the path of spiritual, your intellect should not be attached to anybody. Nobody on this planet Earth. Father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, jobs, your bosses, your people. You cannot be attached to anybody or anything, nor the position you might be in. Oh, I am the vice president of this company. Oh, I am the general manager. Oh, I am like this. No, you cannot be doing that. So, that attachment you have to let go. You may be even a small clerk in an organization. You may be a sales girl. Doesn't matter. Don't be bothered whether you're a clerk or a sales girl or a vice president or a president of a company. Doesn't matter. Don't be attached to that. No job to be attached, no person to be attached, no place to be attached. Suppose tomorrow you say, oh, I want to work only in Delhi. What? No. If the job is calling you to Bangalore, you better be in Bangalore. Got it? This is what he says. You should not be attached to anyone or anything. This is very important. See, attachment causes problems. Think about it. I have one of my disciples. Now, he couldn't leave his people in another place and come to Bangalore. Why? Parents are over there, somebody is over there, that is why. So what is to be done? Sir, if you are supposed to be here for doing your job, you cannot be attached to some other place. or some other person. Think about it. If you are in high seas, okay, your job takes you on the high seas for 6 months, 8 months in a year. What are you going to do? Are you going to carry your parents inside that ship? No, no. Or if you are an army person or a pilot in air force, and you may be stationed in some godforsaken place, some place, Jorat or some such place. You're going to take your parents or your wife or your children over there on the forefront of war? I don't think so. Then why are you insisting that you want your parents with you or your children or this one or that one? If there is a need, you can bring them. If there is something that happens, then you can get them. Yes. So this is what he says. A person who is on the path of spiritual, first and foremost, has to become detached. No attachment of any sort. Then, see, he whose intellect is not attached to anyone or anything, whose thirst for enjoyment has disappeared. Those who are in spiritual, their thirst for enjoyment. Oh, I want to enjoy my life. I want to be with my wife, my children, my this one, my that one. You have to be detached. Everybody in this world is part of your world only. Detachment doesn't mean divorce, because people immediately, they start thinking wrong stuff. I don't want to live with my parents. I will not take care of them. No, I never said like that. I said you can stay far and you can take care of your parents. Yes, you can do that. Is it necessary to be just within their vicinity? There is no need. There is absolutely no need. You be where you are supposed to be and do your duty. That's it. Duty can be done from any part of the world. See, there are lots of people who are staying in America, Europes, and all these places. Their parents might be in India. Are they not sending money every now and then? Of course they are doing. So they are doing their duty. But if they keep on attached and saying, oh, my mother is sick, my father is sick, I have to go to India every now and then what happens? Did you get the point? No attachment of any kind. You have to understand what is called as the Sankhya Yoga. You are in spiritual, you better gear up for this. And all enjoyment has disappeared and subdued the mind. There should be no sense of enjoyment. You are not there for enjoying. So many a times, a person, one of my disciples, he will come and he will say, Guruji, I want to eat biryani. Okay, I make a whole load of biryani and give it to him. He sits in the airport and finishes the whole dabba. After that, there is no biryani left. He says, I just wanted to eat that much. There should be no craving. There should be no such thing as I want. Like they say, na maa ki dal. I want to eat my mother's cooking. Sir, that is called attachment. You are in spiritual, no? How can you have your attachment to mother's cooking, father's this thing, brothers this one, wives like this? No, nothing like that. So don't have any attachment of anything. See, this big story over here comes where Arjuna loses his, I think, son, isn't it? And when he dies, there is a big problem. Because of attachment, everybody cries. Got it? Why should you? It is because of attachment you are going to become miserable. So to be on path of spiritual, first you have to give up all the attachment. Otherwise, don't come in spiritual. You go and live in the material world like any average material human being. Oh, my mother died, my father died, my this thing happened, my wife, she's talking like this, my husband says this. Go. Then don't come in spiritual. Then you are not part of the spiritual. Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna this, to be on the path of this knowledge or actionlessness. You have to follow these laws. Intellect should not be attached to anyone or anything. Thirst for enjoyment, all kinds of enjoyment should be given up. altogether disappeared, and who has subdued his mind. Your mind cannot get disturbed. No way can the mind get disturbed. People in my world, they are disturbed to what level? You see, they are so petty. If you are in spiritual and if you are doing spirituality as a subject and you are learning from me constantly, your job is not to get swayed by anybody or anything. This is what he says. Subduing the mind is so important. You cannot keep on wavering in your mind. Oh, this person is doing like this, that person is doing like that. My father said this, my mother said this, my husband did this, my wife did that. You can't be doing that kind of a thing. You cannot even get swayed this much also. If you are getting swayed, sir, you are not in spiritual at all. Then you leave this world and go away. Go back to that place where you came from. You are not allowed. That is what reaches through Sankhya Yoga the consummation of actionlessness. Actionlessness. Now, this is a very important term. Every human being has to achieve this status. Actionlessness. Even though performing all actions, yet you are actionless. Which means no karma comes with it. But suppose you are attached to somebody or something. Suppose you are attached to your parents and you perform any action with them. They are sick and you are getting very upset. Why? Because they are very sick. I have to take them to the hospital. They will die. Something will happen to them and this and that. Okay? Are you getting swayed? Yes. Are you attached? Yes. Are you feeling the pain? Yes. Then, sir, all those actions will culminate into karma for you. And karma means rebirth. But in this Sankhya Yoga, Krishna is teaching that when you are detached, no attachment of any kind, you have to do your duty. Just do your duty. Don't bother. Don't say that they did like this, I did like this. This one, I went to such length to get a coronavirus injection. COVID-19 was there. I did this for them. And no. Don't even say those words. I spent so much money doing this. No, don't say anything. It's your duty. Do it. But don't get attached to them. Don't get attached to anything. Suppose you are a father. Your job is to teach your children. Okay? You have to get money. Get the money. Earn the money. Give it to your children. Give it to your wife. Give it to your mother, father, whoever. Doesn't matter. If that is what you are doing, do it. But don't get attached to them. No attachment of any kind. You are just doing your duty. That's it. काम कर रहे हैं बस और दूसरा कुछ नहीं. You're just doing your work and nothing else. So this is what you got to do. And then what happens? Then when you do this kind of a job, then you will be performing your duties perfectly and they will not culminate into any karma for future lifetime. The action becomes actionlessness. It will become completely without action. Though performing all the actions, but without attachment and no enjoyment whatsoever. Enjoyment means also feeling the pain. Otherwise, people will say, I get so much pain, my parents, they are a pain in the whatever. Okay, they are always cribbing, they are always talking about me, they say like this, they want more money, they did like that. Are you saying these words? Then you are talking about enjoyment. See, enjoyment can be plus as well as minus, all right? Someday, if I get a chance, I will teach you what is this enjoyment thing all about, okay? Enjoyment doesn't just mean feeling happy about it. No. Enjoyment means feeling sad also about it. Oh, I am in pain, I am in misery. That is also called enjoyment. Have you not seen the what we call them as a masochist? Masochist, the people who like to harm themselves, they will cut their body so many times, they enjoy it. Cutting their body, they enjoy it. So enjoyment can be just not laughter, joy, happiness and all. Enjoyment could also mean, pain and torture and all those things. Don't get involved in any enjoyment. That's what he says. Completely. Thirst for enjoyment is gone and subdued the mind. Then all that you do over there will be totally actionless. No karma will accrue to you. But if you do something where you are involved in that action and you are attached to that object and you are enjoying or feeling bad about it, then, sir, you are completely gone. Then you are doing karmic action, and karmic action means rebirth, 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 and rebirth. Got it? Right. Alright, so now we will do verse 50. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 50. Arjuna, know from me only briefly the process through which man, having attained actionlessness, which is the highest consummation of Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, reaches Brahma. Now here Sri Krishna is telling us, Arjuna, he says, Arjuna, now you will hear from me. What? By following this path of Jnana. See, the path of Jnana is about detachment. Detachment to all objects. There should be no attachment to anything. So he is going to tell us how this particular process is there involved, where you don't have to be attached to anything. Got it? Why should you be attached to anything? So that is what, through which man, having attained actionlessness. He has attained actionlessness. How? By being detached, not bothering about results and other things. He is completely subdued, his enjoyment, no enjoyment whatsoever, and his mind is placid, calm. He's not getting upset or angry or something like that is happening. He reaches actionlessness. So Krishna is saying, when a person who is a Sankhya yogi, he attains this actionlessness, which is the highest consummation of Jnana Yoga, highest point of Jnana Yoga, that ultimate destination of Jnana Yoga. How does he reach Brahma? Brahma means the unmanifest. This person will reach the Brahma, the unmanifest domain. Okay, so we are going to do this tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow my instrument will work, and then you may not have to see through my phone. Today I am doing this through my phone. Okay, so I will recap what I did. First, you have to do your own duty, come whatever may. Better to do your own duty, and even if it is devoid of merit, there may be no merit whatsoever. But if you are doing somebody else's job or duty, then sir, you are incurring biggest sin of all. Today, for the sake of money, you might be working for some fancy company. But if your father and mother and your own inherent nature says that you have to be a farmer, or you have to be a social worker, or you have to be a goldsmith, you better do that. There you will get the heavens. But if you do somebody else's job, surely you are going to go to hell. Okay? So, and every job has imperfections in it. Remember that. So it doesn't matter whether you're making money, not making money, you're having a name, or people are calling you names, doesn't matter. You may be a butcher, but be the best butcher in town. Got it? If you are the villain, be the best villain in town. Just like Ravana. He was made for being the villain. Then, next we came to the point where how Sankhya Yoga, where if you have to be detached from everybody, not be attached to anybody. You have to do your duties. Alright? But don't enjoy it. Don't even feel sad or upset, and subdue your mind. And then you can attain what is called as actionlessness, which means you are doing nishkam karma. So nishkam karma happens in your life, actionlessness, you will not have rebirths. But if you do actions in which you get upset, angry, your mind gets attached to that object, then surely you are going to come back again and again in rebirths. So we have come to the end of verse 50. Tomorrow we will do verse 51 onwards. So take care, have a great evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.